Man, sit your dumb ass down.
What up, Falcons Nation? Rise Up Nation. It's your boy, Jazzy Jeff. Real talk, no gimmicks. Bring that real Falcons talk to real Falcons fans. And we're back at it again. The fun doesn't stop because now we face another NFC South opponent in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I know what you're thinking, Jazzy Jeff. They're just the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Why are you worried about them? Why are you even making a video about them? Because they are still a dangerous team. We are both 3-7. But their offense is still very dangerous. I know people don't believe in Jameis Winston, and I'm one of those people too. But despite all his flaws, all his interceptions, the man is still very dangerous. And every time we play them, they still at least hang around 30 points on us. So this is something we have to take them seriously. We have to respect them. And don't just think that we're to come in here and cakewalk them, because their offense can still put up a lot of numbers. So I'm going to get into it first. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Hit that subscribe button for future content. Now, first, the Buccaneers offense. They are third in passing attempts and fourth in yards and eighth in touchdowns. So the Buccaneers do not run the football a lot. They are 20th in rushing attempts. This is a pass-heavy team. Now, a lot of people think that Mike Evans is the main guy in Tampa, and he might still be, but slowly surpassing him is Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin has more receptions than Mike Evans. Mike Evans does have more touchdowns. No, sorry, they have the same amount of touchdowns. Mike Evans has more yards, but Chris Godwin has more receptions. So I'm going to get into the numbers a little bit and show you the comparison. Mike Evans has 58 receptions. Godwin has 63. Mike Evans has 993 yards. Godwin has 887. They both have 7 touchdowns. And out of the top 5 leading wide receivers in the NFL, obviously Julio Jones is one of them. Number 2 and 3 is Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. So that goes to show you that even though Jameis Winston is a turnover machine, this offense is still very potent, very dangerous. So that key is Desmond Trufant and Isaiah Oliver. Can they stop them? Now, last year, it was very inconsistent because one game we played versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Mike Evans was held to, I believe, only like 46 yards. The second game, both Mike Evans and Chris Godwin each had 2 touchdowns, and they each had over 100 yards, and they each had over 6 receptions. Yes, we still won the game, but we barely won that game. And when the only difference is in both of those wins, Jameis Winston had an interception or more in each of those games. And it still came down to the wire. So if we get one of those games where Jameis Winston does not turn the football over, they might beat us. So we have to take them seriously. That brings me into my next point of Jameis Winston. He has 19 touchdowns and 18 interceptions. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are last place, dead last in interceptions. Jameis Winston has the most interceptions in the NFL. Compare that to Matt Ryan, who has 18 touchdowns, only 9 interceptions. So he has 1 less touchdown than Jameis Winston, and he has way more less interceptions than Jameis Winston. So it goes to show you that stopping Jameis Winston, forcing him to turn the football over is the key to the game, because he will put up garbage yards, he will put up garbage touchdowns, but they still hang in the game because they will throw a lot. Now, which is funny because Bruce Arians was brought in to be the quarterback whisperer and fix Jameis Winston's problems, and it shows you that Jameis Winston at this point of his career, he is who he is. He's a stat-stuffing turnover machine. So the Falcons and this newly revamped defensive play style, we have to do the same exact thing we did at Carolina and New Orleans. Lock down Jameis Winston, force those turnovers, take advantage where we can. They're also 4th worst in the turnover differential, so they also fumble the ball a lot as well. So we have to take advantage, which leads me to the Bucs defense. Now, I understand that a lot of people think the Bucs defense is horrible, and for rightfully so, they kind of are. They are 32nd, which is dead last in opponents' passing attempts against them, which means when teams play against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they throw the most pass attempts against their secondary. That's because no one respects their secondary. They get thrown on a lot. But we cannot slack off on offense and think that we're just going to walk in here and do well because the Buccaneers have Shaquille Barrett or Shaq Barrett. And he is number 2 in the NFL in sacks with 11.5. Now, yes, the Buccaneers are not a great overall defense in terms of sacks, but Shaq Barrett can single-handedly disrupt a football game. Now, you saw his dominance from Shaq Barrett by himself when he had 3 sacks against the Carolina Panthers. They dominated Cam Newton. That was one of their downfalls to their season, and the Buccaneers won that game. So we must block Shaq Barrett if we want to win this game. It's a giant key to this game. Now, one thing about the Falcons defense that is slanted in our favor is that Jameis Winston is the number 1 sacked quarterback in the NFL. He's been sacked 36 times. Now, compare that to Kyle Allen on the Panthers, who we just played, and the Falcons were all over him. Kyle Allen's only been sacked 28 times. So Jameis Winston has been sacked a grand total of 8 more times than Kyle Allen. So we must get to Jameis Winston, sacks and interceptions. That's how we're going to win this game. So can we generate the same pressure we generated on Carolina? If so, we will win this game regardless if Mike Evans and Chris Godwin get their numbers. Matt Ryan just has to stay playing how he's playing. Brian Hill has to run the ball. We still won't have Devontae Freeman. We still won't have Austin Hooper, but that's okay. We don't need them for this game. We need to play great defense, and we need to score at will through the air. Now, Tad McKinley is questionable. He might not play. The Falcons just activated Austin Larkin to the active roster, and we released Sean Harlow. So shout out to Austin Larkin. He was one of my favorite defensive players in the preseason. He played his ass off, and he deserved his snaps. So hopefully we get to see him on the field just like they're giving Quadre a chance. I would love to see him contribute to this defense. Now, speaking about Quadre, I'm anxious and excited to see how the Falcons will continue to use him in the run game. Will he continue to get opportunities at the goal line? He is too big of a bodied back to just deny and not give him carries. You saw it. When he lowers his head, he can run over the first defender, no problem. He can push the pile. Brian Hill, for as good as he has been for us, he cannot push the pile, and it looks like the moment he gets hit at the line, he just goes down. Quadre can push the pile, so please keep giving him opportunities. Russell Gage, he hasn't got a lot of catches, but he has been that player who makes timely catches when Matt Ryan goes deep, another weapon out there to spread the defense and keep them honest. So he needs to continue to make these nice catches, try to stay healthy and not get hurt trying to make the circus catch, and just make the simple catch. That's what Russell Gage needs to do, and I think he'll be fine. Jaden Graham, I know he's not Austin Hooper, but can he be a serviceable backup to Austin Hooper? A safety blanket for Matt Ryan on third down. That's all Jaden Graham needs to do. Have 2 or 3 catches on third down where he moves the chains and keeps the drive going so the rest of our offense can put in the end zone. So I need to see Jaden Graham continue to do that. Matt Ryan will play fine. I'm not worried about him. Julio Jones, I'm not worried about him. Calvin Ridley, he is inconsistent. Sometimes I worry about him. Sometimes he takes plays off. I don't know if it's just a distraction thing with Calvin Ridley. Sometimes he drops the football. So can he stay consistent? Because he is a lethal threat. When he's on his game, he's very hard to stop. But sometimes he looks like he runs the wrong routes, trying to make home runs all the time. He'll try to reverse field. He'll try to run backwards. He'll drop the football on lack of concentration. We need him to be locked in, focused, stretching the defense. And because you know the safeties are going to key on Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley is the key to shredding this secondary of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Falcons Nation, you tell me your keys to the game. Who are you excited to see? Who do you think needs to be stopped on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Name a player that maybe I haven't mentioned the Buccaneers that scares you on their team. Do you even respect their run game? Let me know in the comment section below. Please like, share, subscribe. If you're new to my channel, like I said before, welcome, stick around. And as always, Falcons Nation, we rise up. Let's go get them again, because I don't believe in tanking.